Last week we celebrated the 50th anniversary of boy bands, and it was a brilliant episode. We had in Chris Kirkpatrick, Omarion came back, and we had our four group C singers of Yorkie. I don't almost name them correctly there. Yorkie, Mad Scientist Monster, Stud Muffin, and Nessie all competed for tonight's episode, which is Decades Night, which is indeed tonight. So this is actually a week a week later today, so hopefully I get my Decades Out recap tomorrow, fingers crossed. But anyways, without any further ado, let's get straight into this video, if I can. I don't know if I can. I was gonna pause it, Shaya. Can I click this? Okay, I don't know what I'm doing. Okay, no worries. I'm not gonna pause anything like I normally do. I had a little notification pop up. But anyways, so as you know, last week, exactly today, I'm gonna close the curtains actually, or the window actually, because it's currently I'm currently recording this video at quarter past 10 in the evening. So I need to try to get this out as soon as possible. But anyways, so today is indeed Decades Night for the Masked Singer. We've got Nessie, Yorkie, and Mad Scientist Monster this evening. But we're going to go back to last week and talk about Boy Band Night because it was a brilliant episode. I loved the song choices they had. We had Omarion, we had Chris Kirkpatrick. I'm going to get my clues up quickly on my Word document for this video, and it was a great episode regardless. I loved all the performances, and one of them in particular really stepped up their game, which I'll get to in a minute. But I think Randy dilly-daddling well also because, and also BGT with Hot Talent is back this week again. It's episode 7, so it's roughly nearly 2 weeks before the live show, which is honestly crazy because they're doing it weekly now. The live show, so I'm really looking forward to seeing that. I'll do videos on that as well. Of course, you'll get the recap sheets every week as well. But anyways, I think Granny Furrier, let's get straight in. And also, because there was a few acts shown in the promo for episode 7, I'm really hoping to get aired this week. So I've got my fingers crossed for them. But anyways, I think let's just get straight into this week's video. Starting off with Nessie, who performed. I forgot. I need to get the songs up quickly. Bear with me, folks. Masked Singer season 13. Don't type that in the search bar. Not 14. Goodness gracious! And bear with me, folks. I am completely ahead of the game right now. I don't know what on earth is going on with me, but you know, it's one of these days. So scroll down, and there we go. So Nessie performed "Tearing Up My Heart" by NSYNC, a brilliant song, by the way. I love that song, and he performs that song fantastically. It was so nice to see him doing an up-tempo number, and he really had good command of the stage, and the vocals he was delivering was amazing. And I mean, and the high notes he was hitting as well was just crazy. Like this is definitely a professional singer, because I mean his voice is just absolutely fantastic, and it was just a brilliant start to the show. But anyways, my guess for Nessie, I've actually changed my guess because I was watching the episode last week, I was still thinking Daryl Hall. I was still thinking him, but after further inspection of the singing voice, it's definitely not. I don't think it's Daryl Hall at the minute, but I have a new guess, and this definitely lines up with the clues I have here, and I'll go through the other clues for last week as well. That makes sense for him, and that is Edwin McCain. So if you don't know who he is, he's a singer. He's known for his hit songs "I'll Be." That's just to name a few. I'm going to get the clues up quickly. I'm going to quickly go through his clues last week. If I can find the clue thing. Simple YouTube. There we go. If I can find the clues. No. Oh no. Should I find the clues? Is there any clues leading to him? Yeah. Okay. So no. Okay. All right. I thought I had some clues here, but you know, never mind. We'll go on without them. But anyways, we'll go through this week's clues. So he mentioned about He had a good. So let's go through some of the clues. So we saw the guitar, and he was playing the guitar, and as you can see here, Edwin is known for playing the guitar. The InSync connection. I did some research on this, and his biggest hits came out in the late '90s, just as InSync were gaining their steam. So he was basically battling them on the charts, basically. The popcorn. I was trying to see. I was thinking to myself, could that be a connection to Taylor Dane, who was the popcorn in season 4? But his hit song "I'll Be" was actually nominated for MTV Music Award, which is awesome. Then we saw him playing golf, so we saw the golf connection with him with the golf club. He hit the golf ball with the golf club, and he was actually a guest on the Charles Rimmer golf show. And the beer, because he likes beer as well. He likes sampling beer. So these were some of the clues I was able to connect, but I'm kind of rushing through this. So these are just a few clues I managed to pick up. So I know I'm definitely going to be rushing this video, so I apologise on that. But these are some of the clues I found for Nessie, and yeah, it was. I think it's 100%. I think Edwin. It's definitely Edwin McCain now. I mean, I still have got my Daryl Hall guess is still on the back burner, but for now I am very much thinking it is indeed Edwin McCain, and I love to see, and I think he's definitely been in the quarterfinal in the lucky six, because I think it's pretty obvious who's going home this week. But I'll get to them in a minute because I thought they really improved last week. So the next up we had the singer eliminated from the competition, which was indeed Stud Muffin, and he performed "Poison" by Belle Biv DeVoe. I love that song. I thought he did pretty well. The singing was pretty good. The dancing he did was really good as well. Just an all-around entertaining performance it was. I don't think it was as strong as when Rabbit, aka Joey Fatone, did it, because he really commanded the stage with the choreography when he did that song in season 1. But this was still a solid performance, and it was pretty obvious he was going home, in my opinion, this week. And Rita and Robin were correct on this. Rita even said his name from day one, and I was also thinking him as well. And it was pretty obvious who it was. It was none other than Method Man. There he is. I couldn't get my finger on the key there. But anyways, it was Method Man, and I thought he was fantastic. I think singing-wise, maybe he wasn't the strongest, but when it came to the rapping, when he did jump around, I thought he was absolutely excellent. So the rapping he did was absolutely fantastic. Definitely a fabulous rapper, but I think the singing, while wasn't too bad, at the same time, it just wasn't the strongest. I think rapping is more of his lane, because when we think about rappers who's been on the show, we've had Bow Wow, who completely changed up his performances each week, and he even sang a few times. He sang the Gap Band's "You Dropped the Bomb on Me" and Imagine Dragons' "Whatever It Takes," and he sang those two songs brilliantly. And also not only Frog was rapping, but he was also singing as well. He actually sang a few times, which was really good. And the other one, Wiz Khalifa, he sang quite a few times on the show. He did it in his first performance. It'd been his second performance. The rest was a rap, and then his final performance was "Gangster's Paradise," and he did do quite a bit of singing in that performance, which was great as well. And both rappers have got beautiful singing voices as well, which is also great as well. But I thought, overall, I thought Muffin. Hang on, I don't know what's going on. Hang on, give me a sec. Right, sorry about that, folks. I apologise. I had to pause it quickly. But anyways, I was saying, I think singing wise, I think he was decent. Wasn't the strongest, but the rapping overall he did was fantastic in my opinion. So Method Man, thank you so much for doing the mastering, and my friend, you were fantastic, and it was great seeing you on the season, and you were fantastic. So, and then we had, in my opinion, probably the biggest improvement from last week, which was Yorkie. Now, if you remember my previous video recap, I mentioned I feel like she should have been the first to go out in this group, because I feel like Cherry Blossom was unfairly eliminated. But let me tell you this: after this performance right here from Yorkie, there was no way she was going home. She really, really improved her vocals this week, and it was a fantastic song choice. She did Step by Step, New Kids on the Block. Love me some New Kids on the Block. And I thought she absolutely nailed this performance. Her voice was actually really good, and just honestly, she was great. She was fantastic this week. I just thought she was superb, absolute superb. So the guests I have for Yorkie, I was still thinking Jennifer Tilly, going to the episode, but Jenny said this person, and as well as social media was saying this person, and it makes a lot of sense actually for it to be her. Wrong page, and I am 100% convinced it is Erica Jane. So I'm trying to go through the clues. Is there any clues from last week? Doesn't look like it. Doesn't look like any clues. Oh, yeah, I'm going to find some clues actually from last week. So, last week we saw the Diamond Ring and the Real Housewives of Beverly Hills and the Poker Chips. She had her own Vegas residency, basically her own show in Las Vegas, which is awesome. And now going to this week's clues. We saw her standing behind. We saw her in the VT, and there was a fountain behind her, and she had a fountain. She actually had her own fountain in her former mansion. She mentioned New Yorkie, so that made me think of New York City. And from what I've heard, what I've read, she actually currently lives in New York City, which is one of the biggest cities ever in America. There was a poster. Then we saw. This is a bit of a stretch here, but we saw like a headline which you'd see on Broadway and had a picture of Yorkie on the kind of like the banner, which we'd see in a Broadway outside a Broadway theater. And she actually made her Broadway debut right before the pandemic, but she's actually going to be starring in Chicago this year, so good for her. Then she also mentioned about being in a scandal, and she was involved in a scandal involving her estranged husband, who was actually found guilty of embezzling millions from clients and subsequent lawsuits and legal battles. Sorry for my poor pronunciation there, but she was basically involved for her former husband, and lawsuits and were involved. And the peach pie, I actually had to think of this very carefully because I was like, peach pie, what's that supposed to mean? The peach, and I thought about it. I let it process in my mind. Peaches, Atlanta, and she is originally from Atlanta, Georgia, and they had peaches there in Atlanta. So that's a big clue for that to be Erica Jane. And the voice actually matches her very well. And this is definitely the type of costume I can see her being in. Because I honestly could, this is literally the perfect costume for her to be in, and it's totally like her. It's brilliant. It's absolutely fantastic. So so that I am now convinced it is the brilliant Erica Jane. I'm so happy she's doing the mastering. She is actually, and she apparently she is a singer. Apparently, from what I've heard, and I've seen some videos online. She is pretty good actually. So I think the first performance she was really holding back, or the voice didn't fit her. The song didn't fit her voice too well. But this performance really was really good as well. Was actually like a huge step up from the previous performance. So, but I still think she's going home tonight in today's episode. So, but of course we will see once it happens. Later, basically tonight, basically, and ending off the night, we had the Mad Scientist Monster who performed "I Swear" by All For One. I think I know the group. It's I can't so much no. No, I don't think I know the group. Might know the song, but I mean, this performance was just absolutely beautiful. His voice was so wonderful, and the song really fitted his voice. And I mean, this was without a doubt the best performance of the night. It was so moving, so beautiful, and it was just a wonderful performance. I loved his voice. His voice is just absolutely wonderful. So, so let's go through my guess for Marathon this Monster. I'm sticking with my guess from last week, and I'm fully convinced it is the brilliant Brian Kelly from Florida Georgia Line. We're going to go for the clues now for him before we wrap up the video, because it's quite late, so I'm going to try and get this video as soon as I can. So in the background, we saw a cruise ship, and Florida Georgia Line actually did a song with Nelly Cruz, but I also did another research. I think I found something as well. Cruz. Don't they have a song called Cruise? Well, I mean, they were involved in a cruise like event as well. Yeah, they have a song that they even have a song called Cruise. Yeah, I was thinking they had one. The sandcastle. We saw him behind the sandcastle, and there's like buckets and spades. And he has a song called Sunday Surfing in the Sand. And he also talked about he mentioned his wife, and he indeed mentioned that he met his wife in a Thanksgiving dinner, and of course he plays baseball. So these are just some of the clues I got. I couldn't get all the clues because a very, very tight schedule, you could say here. But yeah, this was easily my favorite performance of the night and the best as well. For me, it's if it's not him, Boogie Woogie, and Coral in the final three, I'd be amazed. I know apparently they're doing a 4-person finale from what I've heard. Not too sure, but in my opinion, the final three is easily Mad Scientist Monster, Coral, and Boogie Woogie. I would love to see them in the final three. My top two is tough because I think it's going to be either Boogie Woogie. It's going to be between either Boogie Woogie. So my top two predictions is either Boogie Woogie versus Mad Scientist Monster, or Coral versus Boogie Woogie. Those are my top two options, because I think out of all the singers we have left in the competition, for me, Boogie Woogie is easily my pick to win the whole thing. I really want him to win the whole thing. His voice is absolutely sensational, and Andy Grammer's voice is just effortless. But at the same time, I could see Coral maybe winning, because I know, Group A has had season winners for quite a few seasons now, since season 7. So I would kind of hope to have the curse broken a little bit, if that makes sense. But yeah, it's so yeah, that's just me. But I think he's easily going to be in the Super Six. If he's not, I'll be amazed, because his voice is absolutely just amazing, just absolutely fantastic. So there you go. That is the boy band night recap and review. Let me know your thoughts in the comments below. And as I mentioned today will be Decades Night. Also, I'm curious to know, who do you think is going home this week? And while I thought Yorkie really improved this week, it's for me, it's almost guaranteed she's going to be going home. And that's not me saying because she's bad, because she really improved last episode, and I was actually really impressed. But looking who she's up against with Boogie, with Nessie and Mad Scientist Monster, I can't see her beating either of those two. So yeah, so it's pretty obvious who I think is going home, with that being Yorkie. But of course, let me know your thoughts in the comments below. What are your favorite performances? Your guesses? And I'm mainly to for the clues there. That's really it for this video. Thank you so much for watching this video. If you enjoyed it, please like and subscribe with post notification turn on. I would really appreciate that. But for now, thank you so much for watching this video, and I'll see you guys next time.